Can you tell me a little bit about the abuse that you experienced?
Well, I can't say I remember when it first started because since my childhood I was abused. So to me it was just normal behavior. It actually started back in 2004. That was the first time, and it started with, excuse me, emotional abuse. It was just, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're fat, you're disgusting. Just belittling me to the point where I would actually put my head down. And I'd always say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm doing something wrong. But after he would do it, he would just sit there and laugh. And I didn't understand it, so I thought it was basically something I was doing. And I just accepted it because, like I said, it was normal behavior to me. I didn't know abuse.
What did that lead to?
Well, first was the verbal. Then came the pushing, the shoving. And it was the first time he pushed me up against the wall. I mean, he was a big man, 6'4", 289 pounds. And it didn't take much, and I basically just flew into the wall. And at first I was in a state of shock because this isn't the person that I met. And, oh my God, what did I do? And it was just, it progressed, and it progressed rapidly. I didn't have a chance to blink or anything. He'd go out, come back in, and when he came back in, he was like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. So I just felt I was waiting for that bomb to go off. It was a waiting game. What's next? What can I do different? And after the hitting and the beating, then came the sexual abuse. That was the one that had the impact on me. But I honestly didn't know that I was being raped because you're my fiance. So how is it rape? And that was a night that he put 12 muscle relaxers in my hand, made me take them. I went to sleep, and I woke up to him ramming his private part into me. And I was screaming, "Stop, it hurts." He just laughed. And after it was over, I found myself consoling him. I didn't know why, but I did. And I held him that whole night because he was crying. Every time he would start hitting me or whatever, it was always, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." He'd go out, buy me a dozen roses the next day. And the night before the rape, February 9th of 2005, he took me to Walmart and bought me my Valentine's Day gifts. And all I'm thinking is, wow, he's changed. He's back to the same person that I knew. Maybe he is sorry. Maybe I'm doing something right now. Little did I know, that was the night he tried to kill me. And it just, it made something inside me click. I hear people say about their gut feelings. Listen to your gut. I didn't, because I thought there was something wrong with me. He's making everyone think I'm crazy. I had several police reports. And he had it to the point where even the police that came out started to think, this lady's crazy. There's something wrong with her. But I had a professional come out to the house because he said I was hearing voices. And they were from Marion Mental Health. And she sat at my table. And I said, would you please tell this man if I hear voices, he can't answer them. Then I thought I shouldn't have done that, because that's when it got worse. He beat me so bad that night that I had fractured vertebrae in my back. Black and blue marks all over me. But I still stood with him, because he kept telling me, no one's going to want you. No one. Who's going to want you? Look at you. You're disgusting. So it just got to the point I had no self-esteem. On February 10th, he left for work. He would work nights and come home by 3 in the morning. When he left for work, he left for work, I sat in the middle of the bed. I don't know what came over me. All I knew that I made a vow, and I said that night, if he tried anything, it was either going to be me and him. And I'm not a violent person. But I believe I went into a self-protective mode, self-defense mode. I put a butcher knife underneath my side of the bed. And I said if he came at me, I was going to use it. I sat in the middle of that bed for 6 hours. I must have fell asleep because I didn't even hear him come in. Came in about 4 in the morning. He usually comes in from work, takes a shower. Once again, I woke up to him ripping off my nightshirt, pulling it up, and raping me again. Well, everything I had said earlier about it was either going to be me or him went right out the window because I was scared. And I was woken up. So I just closed my eyes and waited for it to end. Except this time he videotaped it. He was videotaping what he was doing to me. I didn't know that at the time till I got up. I just closed my eyes and just prayed for it to be over. That night, that morning, because it was 4 in the morning, so he was off for work. It was a Sunday. And we were sitting there and we were watching videos. Something inside me clicked. This country music video came on, and it was Jesus Take the Wheel. Something clicked. I sat up in the bed, and I asked for permission to use my phone. Because after 3 years into the relationship, he cut me off from my family. He even cut me off from my kids. I couldn't see my kids. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And I told him I was calling my sister. But I actually called a domestic violence hotline number. And I'm trying to talk to them because he's right next to me in the bed. And to my surprise, they were right down the road from where I was. And all I says to him, I had to find an excuse to get out. And I told him that I was going to talk to someone about my crazy behavior. That, yeah, maybe I am hearing voices, and you're right. He said, well, if you leave me, as soon as you walk out the door, I'm going to kill myself. And I love you so much. And the only thing that came to my mind was, you know what? Sit on the end of the bed. He sat on the end of the bed. And I put my arms around his shoulders. And I said, honey, I love you too. And I'm about to show you how much. I ran down that road as fast as I could without looking back. I didn't know what a shelter was. I was scared. I was scared to death. And I actually didn't know that he raped me. That it was rape. Because I was saying no until I got to the shelter. And I was talking to the counselor. And at this point, I still didn't mention about what happened sexually. And I kept saying, but I want to go back. But it was, I believe, because my first instinct was, how am I going to live? What are people going to say? I'm in a shelter. I wasn't raised this way. Not me. But that night, I just made a vow. And talking to the counselor, that's when I called 911 and I reported the rape.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a vow that day that it wasn't normal behavior. Love doesn't have to hurt. Love's not supposed to hurt.
Right.
And I just made that vow. Never again. Never again. But I also had to regain my self-esteem, because by the time I was done with him, we were in a relationship for 4 years. When I was done with him, I had no self-esteem. I didn't even want to live anymore. I thought about suicide. And then I prayed to God. I said, God, why am I here? Why, since 9 years old, did I have to endure all this? And now I know. And it's to be the voice for other women, children, men that are going through any kind of abuse.
What would you tell other victims that may be struggling with what to do in that situation?
There is help. Don't wait. If you feel something, if you have this gut instinct that just something isn't right, listen to your gut. Because more than likely, your gut is right. You don't have to stand there when he tells you you're stupid. You don't have to put up with that. Get help. Make that first phone call. Call 911. People want to help. I know the first time you pick up the phone, you're scared. I called the shelters a dozen times but hung up. But get out while you still have the chance, because tomorrow you may not have that chance. Call up your local police department. Call up local shelters. There's 800 numbers. People want to help you. They want to listen. Let them help you. Get out while you have a chance. You have rights. Your abuser tells you you don't. No one's going to listen. He told me that for years. But now people are listening to me. Just get the help you need.